Hello everybody, welcome back to the United Stand, and I'm in the familiar surroundings with Ben Foster. How you doing?
I'm lovely, mate. You?
I'm really excited. We're going to do, Ben's going to do his Premier League predictions for Manchester United. We're going to get into that straight away, start of the season. But before we do get into that, Onana beaten at the weekend. You can give us your thoughts on that. But the bigger question is, I just want to have one topic that we can come back to at the end of the season. Massive David De Gea to leave Man United. Onana comes in. How do you think it's going to go for Onana this season? What you're expecting? Because it's a big, big challenge for him.
It's a massive challenge for him, massive challenge for the lads as well, for the players in front of him. I did a segment for you a few weeks ago. Do you remember before we played Man United out in America?
Yeah, I do.
So I came on the United Stand on my little Zoom shanty thing in my room, and it looked horrible, but it is what it is. I was talking about Onana, and I was saying basically it's going to take time because you've got a new goalie who is like so advanced in the way that he wants to play his football. He's almost like a defender himself. He wants to be in that position. If you look at his heat map, it's ridiculous. He's so far forward.
I've seen him ahead of the centre back.
It's ridiculous. Yeah, it's outrageous. So it's going to take time for him to get used to that position. Then all of a sudden it's going to get the defenders, the midfielders, to get used to him being in that position as well. Trying to beat the press, clipping balls out from the back, is going to take a while. And the goal that he conceded at the weekend, the one getting lobbed from the halfway line, there's no surprise things like that happen as well, because if he's such a high line and he's playing football, the second that it breaks down, and it normally comes from a mistake from a midfielder, really. If the midfielder plays a pass that gets cut out, if they can get that shot off early doors, you're in trouble. It happened to Aaron Ramsdale, actually, in the Community Shield game at the weekend as well. Thankfully for him, it just went over the bar. But stuff like that will happen. The rest of it, I saw that thing with Maguire. Everybody saw the thing with Maguire, and I didn't like it. I didn't like it one little bit, Mark.
The shouting at him.
The shouting at him. I just don't think that's necessary.
I think as fans, we've all wanted to do that.
Yeah, for sure.
So it's a quick win for him as well.
Listen, I get it, right? And you're annoyed. It's a pre-season friendly, though, right? You don't need to go shouting and raving and stuff like that. I guarantee you, every single player in that dressing room, actually every single player that's a footballer, that in any dressing room up and down the country will have seen him racing after Maguire and shouting at him there and gone, nah, that's bang out of order.
I think Maguire and Onana maybe aren't as tight as they might have been now.
Without doubt. If I'm Maguire, right, and somebody's doing that to me, I'm going, what are you doing, you dickhead? Calm the heck down, would you? And that's what he needed to do, really, but he didn't. I think that's the state that Maguire is in at the minute. He's in a bad place. For me, the best resolution for Harry Maguire would be for him to get a move away.
Oh, 100%. Yeah. 100%. We'll see what happens with Onana then. Let's talk about Manchester United. Pre-season is always very difficult to assess, and I refuse to predict a season based on that. But what you can do is say, we finished third, we got to 2 cup finals. Predominantly the players that have gone out the door would be like the Weghorst. De Gea was a surprise, as we know, but we know why that happened. Mason Mount's come in, Onana's come in, Højlund has come in. Where do you, because we do the fill-in, obviously, and we talk about the Premier League in general, so we've both got a good grasp of that, like everyone at home has. Where do you put Man United this season in relation to, let's start with the Premier League. Where do you put Manchester United? Third last year, but obviously Liverpool and Chelsea fell off. There's a lot of good competition this year. Liverpool, Chelsea, Arsenal, Newcastle, Man City, maybe even the Villas and the Brightons and the Chelseas, as we've mentioned. Where do you put United this year? Do you think third would be... Can they get up where Arsenal are, or is third off? Because we've all got our opinions at the start. It doesn't mean we're going to be right.
This is such a tough season. I know every year, right? Obviously, every year we played in the Premier League, every season we'd start the next one and go, boys, this has gotten harder. This has gotten harder again. And this year is no different. Honestly, it isn't. I think, personally, for me, Man United, a lot will come down to Højlund and whether he is able to hit the ground running or not. Once again, I'm going to throw it out there. I think that if Man United could have spent an extra 30 million quid, they could have got Harry Kane, and it's a guaranteed, it's a guaranteed. The thing with the Højlund is, he's still very young, he's still very raw. You just don't quite know whether he's going to be able to handle it. He's obviously a very good footballer, but it's the mental side of it. Playing for Manchester United week in, week out in the Premier League, is he going to be able to deal with that and cope with it? And then, like I say, hit the ground running and score goals as well. And that remains to be seen. It's a lot of money, 60 million quid for a young lad. But like I say, I'd have spent the extra 30 million quid, got Harry Kane and bosh, guaranteed. And then I would have said, third is an absolute possibility, without doubt. Even second, maybe. But I think it's going to be really tough this year. Really, really tough.
I think you're right. I think it does come down to the striking situation, and I really like Højlund. He's not 20, but 20 years of age. It is a lot, and he's only had one sort of breakout season in Serie A with Atalanta. And he's not even fit for the start of the season. He's out for 3 weeks, apparently. So it's a huge... I think he will come good, but I think this comes down to the sale process, because apparently we were always in for Højlund and he wanted Kane. So, you know, I mean, look, if Højlund's injured, there is no striker. So it's logical that he probably wanted a Højlund and a Kane.
Oh, without doubt.
But you end up with the young striker. I mean, Harry Kane would have been perfect. I just think Spurs probably weren't going to sell him to United.
Not to United. I think they don't want to sell to a Premier League team, full stop. And that's the problem with it, really. So this is why Harry Kane, you hear him, you know, if Harry Kane really wanted to stay at Tottenham, he would have come out and said, I'm not signing for Bayern Munich. I'm not signing for this team. I'm not. But he hasn't. And the reason why he hasn't done it is because he probably wants it.
Yeah. So would you put United in the top 4? I am going to put you on the spot because it's pre-season and we've got nothing to go on other than last season and the summer that we've had. It is ridiculously hard. I think everybody watching the show will be struggling. Funny, I did it on the weekend. I did a poll actually, and it was just about 54% put us in top four, and 45% put us in 5th.
Right. So then this is probably a better way of looking at it. Yeah, you've really got. So if you be honest with yourself, right? Man City, guaranteed top 4. Yeah? Arsenal, 90% top 4. Yeah. So you've got 2 positions to play with, yeah? You've got 3rd and 4th, and you've got Newcastle, Liverpool, Chelsea. Keep on coming.
Villa, Brighton.
Villa.
I put United in the top 4. And fifth will be good enough this year.
And then Manchester United as well, right? So, mate, even when I was out in America, right, we watched Aston Villa play, yeah? They were so sharp, Mark. They're going to surprise so many teams this year. They're going to be like, I think, around that 5th, 6th, 7th. They're going to be a problem for all of the big teams this year. I guarantee it, because of the way they play. The way their manager sets them up is phenomenal.
But they're all going to play each other, aren't they? That's the good thing. They'll all take points off each other. I mean, think about United last year. I didn't put them in the top 4, and I don't know how Ten Hag put them in the top 4 but it's that grinding out thing, isn't it?
Yeah, true.
We're so good on the break.
I think 4th. I think they're going to nick 4th. I think they'll nick 4th. And do you know what? If they get 4th, that is a good season, you know. I'm not joking you, that is a good season. There'll be fans out there for sure still disappointed with that, thinking we should be up here and there. And it's not that simple. So, yeah, I'll go for a top 4 finish. But if you've got Harry Kane, you'd be 2nd.
Yeah, well, that's the difference between a sale and the Glazers still being there, isn't it? Because he's still doing it.
How is it taken this long, surely, mate? Like, this has to have been sorted by now. We're talking about Man United here.
I don't know. I think the concern is that they might actually end up staying. I mean, you got more protests. There's a 60-minute sit-in after the Forest game, and they're still hanging about.
It's all this kind of all this rumbling on of all this kind of stuff, though, is what detracts a bit from Manchester United getting back to Manchester United. I think once this can get sorted and the takeover can happen, and then everybody can just start to look forward, that's when Man United can start really doing a bit again. But I think while it's rumbling on, there's just too many distractions.
Well, when you look at it, I was going to ask you about the transfer window, what your thoughts are on, because actually, if Qatar had come in or whoever, you get it at Wrexham. What do new owners want to do? They want to please the fans. They want to show they mean business. So this summer would have been very different under a new owner than it is under the Glazers.
Of course.
You've mentioned Maguire. Fred's still there as we talk. Donny's still there. Brandon Williams. Still lots of players still at the club that shouldn't be. And then there's still, like you've mentioned, the striker. I mean, I really like Højlund, but Ronaldo left nearly a year ago. Yeah. United need a Lewandowski, an Erling Haaland, a Harry Kane, an Osman. They're crying out for that, because you make a great point. That is the difference. If you put Harry Kane in that team, you're not talking about 4th or 3rd. You're saying probably going to push Arsenal. 28 goals in a Spurs team last year gets completely underwritten because of Haaland. Oh,
mate, and it sounds bad because 60 million quid's a lot of money, but it's the cheap option. It is. It's the cheaper. Listen, I hope he hits the ground running. I do. I hope he hits the ground running. I hope he's scoring goals and he turns into another Erling Haaland.
But that's it. That's the worry straight away for me, because I like Højlund and know a lot about him. I'm really excited about him. I like his attributes, but he's pure developmental. And you're saying, and other people say, he's got to hit the ground running. But actually, he hasn't got to hit the ground. That shouldn't be his pressure. He's 20 years of age, but he has got to hit the ground running because he's the only option. But ultimately, that goes against what you're buying. He shouldn't have. He's not Erling Haaland, who's been banging him in Dortmund. He's had 1 year.
But not even that. When Erling Haaland joins Man City, it's not all on his shoulders to go and do it, because he knows that he's got 6 players behind him that can score goals anyway. So it's not. He hasn't got to worry about that. If it comes to him, cool, sweets and up. But yeah, when you're playing for Man United, you haven't got another 6 players behind you who can put the ball in the back of the net like that.
So Ben's putting Man United in the top 4, just fourth. Yeah. Let's talk about who do you think will be top scorer for United, actually?
Probably Rashford again.
Yeah.
Probably Rashford again. So just because he'll be on penalties, he's still probably going to be taking free kicks, set pieces, and he's going to chip in with goals anyway. But it won't be a massive tally. It'll be another sort of like 18, 20 maybe.
And trophies, they're in the Champions League, obviously the FA Cup, the Carabao Cup. Do you fancy United for a trophy this year?
Again, mate, it's so tough. It is. Everybody wants to. There's probably even down to like a Villa or a Brighton would say we want to try and win a trophy this year because we know we're not going to win the league. Yeah. But can we try and win a trophy or get as far as we possibly can?
In Europe,
everybody. That's what I mean. Chelsea this season, it's an absolute free hit. It's such a good swing at it because they've got a new manager. They're going to be a threat this year. They are with Pochettino. The way that he plays as well. We played him again in pre-season, and when they're happy for our 3 centre-backs to have the ball, but as soon as it went to one of the wing-backs, oh my gosh, you see how quickly they pressed it. It was phenomenal. They have got so many triggers because they're all been coached properly now. They know exactly what to do. As soon as the ball went out to the wing-backs, bang, they were on us, just looking to nick it. The forwards then would try and get the second ball. It was frightening, it was. So, Chelsea not having Champions League matches to worry about is a massive bonus for them as well.
I did my Premier League predictions on That's Football. Some people might have seen it by now. I had a couple of Madris when I recorded it, but I'm going to stand by it. It's probably the hottest take ever. It'll be hotter than the sun if this happens. Yeah. I've said Man United are going to win the Champions League.
Oh, you're funny.
I'm not changing it.
Oh, you're funny, man.
Eric Ten Hag has got a very good cup record and is experienced in the Champions League.
OK, take the Premier League teams out of it, right?
Who's better than Man United in the Champions League?
Take the Premier League teams out of it, yeah? Take Man City and Arsenal possibly out of it. Would they beat Real Madrid?
Over 2 legs, yeah.
Could Man United beat Real Madrid home and away, or basically over 2 legs?
Yeah.
Even now they've signed Jude Bellingham as well to improve them. Vinicius is becoming even better and better and better. They've got the best goalie in the world.
Yeah. Look, I wanted to get your thoughts. You obviously don't agree with me. And
as far as possible, mate. Honestly,
I think they'll do well in the Champions League.
For Man United, a quarter-final, semi-final,
I'll take that.
That would be a bonus for Man United this season. But yeah, if they can win a cup, if they can get to win an FA Cup or a Carabao Cup, it's so hard to do nowadays. Even winning the Carabao Cup, people used to belittle it and make out like it's nothing, right? It's not that anymore. It's a big deal nowadays because it's so hard to win a competition.
Definitely. Well, there you go. Get your comments in below about Ben's Premier League predictions. He's got us in the top 4, but maybe a Carabao Cup. Doesn't agree with me on the Champions League. And Marcus Rashford will be top goal scorer. We'll be back again next week. Thanks for watching. Make sure you smash a like on the video and subscribe.
Cheers, mate. Thank you.